Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about colorism, as you can tell from the title. I know colorism is a very broad, and there's so many things we could talk about colorism, and we could be here all day, but I don't have that much time, and we have a lot to unpack. So I want to make this intro very quick. But before I do start talking about colorism, I'm going to give you guys a brief description / definition of colorism. If you don't know what it is, this is Google's definition, by the way. Colorism is prejudice of discrimination, especially within a racial group / ethnic group, favoring people with lighter skin over those with darker skin. To kind of simplify it, if you still don't really understand what it means, it's basically when people of the same race group are colorist to the darker skin people in their group. And there's always this misconception that colorism and racism are the same thing, but they're really not. Just because they have the ism and it kind of like has to do with race, it's really different, because for it to be a colorist action or act, it has to do with someone within your race, like the same race, people being fruit the same race, which is kind of dumb and sad, very sad, because they shouldn't be treated differently just because they're dark, even though they're the same people, they have the same culture. But yeah, that's kind of the difference, and racism obviously is between two different groups, and colorism is between the same group. So yes, we have that down. Okay, now let's move on to the history and why that's really important before I talk about other things. The history of colorism started with slavery, which a lot of this stuff started with, and it was when the dark-skinned women would get raped by the slave owners, which were usually white. No, always white. They were always white, and the result of that would be mixed race light-skinned babies. Usually light-skinned babies and mixed race kids used to work indoors with kids, cooking, cleaning, but always inside. And the dark-skinned people usually worked outside in the fields, and that was kind of the difference and kind of the diversion, and that's kind of what started to divide the Black community, I guess, in some sort of way. But because they were part of the slave owners, they had some privilege. But sorry guys, I had to change phones because mine, the one I usually film on, I don't have much storage, so sorry if the quality's bad, but it's okay. I think we're pretty good. It's not that bad. Okay, where were we? Okay. So the mixed race children, so they were inside, but I'm not gonna like say that they didn't go through anything, because slavery was a bad time. Like, it was a bad time for everyone. So I'm not trying to invalidate, what they went through, because they went through a lot as well. So that's something I want to say before they all come for me and say, like, oh my god, like, we didn't go through anything. Like, no, like, it was still slavery. You guys went through things, and I'm acknowledging that. Hey guys, just want to quickly pop in here. I forgot to say this, which is super important. This is like a really important detail. But when slavery ended, there was a 1-drop rule that started, which was if you had a drop of black in you, like an ounce, just like a drop of black, you were black. There was no light skin, brown skin, dark skin thing that people got going on right now. It was none of that. You had black in you, you were black. Like, go to the back of the bus. There was no, light skin, dark skin, oh, you had a bit of white in you. No, if you had an ounce of black, you were black, babe. But some fellow light-skinned people decided to take it upon themselves to divide the Black community even more. During the 20th century, they decided to do a paper bag test, which they used to do these in like parties or like tea parties, which I don't really know what they were doing there, like talking about boats and stuff, reminiscing of the time, back in the day when, it wasn't fun for them. But when they had parties, it was like to enter, you had to either be lighter than a paper bag or the same color as a paper bag. And a paper bag is pretty darn light. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing. Basically, just no dark skins. That's what they wanted. And I think this truly divided the Black community to despise one another and really turn us against each other, which I don't even know why in the first place they would think of doing this. But yeah, I just want to add this quickly because this is actually very important information. Later on, when I talk about other things, it will make sense why this happened. Okay, I'm done. Bye. The next thing I'm going to talk about is colorism internationally, because a lot of people the only thing that this happens in the United States and like Canada, well, it does not. It is very much alive and well internationally. Asia has the highest marketing for lightening creams in the world. Like, take a look at K-pop. Do we see many light-skinned people? Like, your favorite idols, they're usually very whitewashed. Like, a lot of Asian people have melanin, like they do, but they don't show it to the other world, and it makes it hard for the dark-skinned Asians that are actually dark and have some melanin and don't bleach for them to live in this world. And it's like they have crazy beauty standards in Asia. Like, there's so many things that we can talk about, but this is not a video for it. But I just like to say that it also happens in South Asia and India. Bollywood. Do we really need to talk about Bollywood? Because we could talk about Bollywood. I love Bollywood. I love the movies. They're interesting. Like, bro, great dancing, great music. It's very much a vibe. It's very good. But the representation is what I have a problem with. Most of the dark-skinned people that are shown in Bollywood movies are like the bad people, or just like the civilians or the poor people. You know what I mean? The people that are less looked as less. And it's true in their communities, and they're looked at as less. And the lighter skinned women are the people that are most desirable, and they're more feminine, and if you don't have lighter skin, then you're not going to find a husband and no one's going to love you. And that's what they push out to younger women in television. And even a journalist called it the Snow White syndrome. That's how bad it is with bleaching creams and lightening creams, and how like it's come to like an obsession. Like 2 out of 3 women bleach their skin in Asia. So yeah, that says a lot. Hey guys, Future Samia here. I just want to quickly chime in and add this to the video because I'm editing right now, and I wanted to say quickly that I'm not bashing or judging any of the women and men that use bleaching or lightening creams. That is, you know, your personal choice. I'm just here to educate and say my opinion, as well as some facts. But this is none of their faults. Indian women, Korean men, African women, these are none of their faults. I blame this on white people. It's rooted in white supremacy. I say this later in the video. Keep watching if you want to know what I gotta say. But it's very much deep rooted in white supremacy, and they're bringing these products to these communities, obviously marginalized groups, and for a reason too. For a reason. And they see ads, commercials, and billboards. Like, it's pushed to that audience, and it's not their fault that they're obviously attracted to it and then created a beauty standards because they think of it as beauty, and it's because of white people. So I don't blame any of them. It's none of their faults. But as well, we still talk about the issues with the beauty standards that they have all created in their own communities. So I am signing off. Continue watching the video and like and subscribe. Bye. In Africa, when I went to Senegal, which is in West Africa, I noticed, like, I was at this supply store and I noticed so many bleaching creams, and I'm not used to seeing bleaching creams because they're banned in the United States and America for obvious reasons. Like, there's chemicals in these bleaching creams, like for bad acne or even kidney failures. Like, these things are no joke, but obviously they don't really care, and they just want to feel good and look good. So yeah, that's kind of like the difference and the sad part, actually. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, I saw so many bleaching creams. I was like, why are they promoting and advertising bleaching creams like in every single supply store? Like, I swear to God, go to a local supply store or beauty supply store with like hair products and like healthcare and like self-care products. I kid you not, you're gonna see an aisle just full of bleaching and lightening creams. A lot of this also has to do with class structure, because upperclassmen are usually the people that work indoors, like offices, air conditioning, you know, those people are usually lighter. But then obviously the people that work outside, they're lower classmen. They work, you know, outside in fields, or, you know, they're selling things outside. They're, you know, that's how they get their income, and it's very low. They don't have much money, and they use the little money that they have to buy bleaching creams and lightening creams, which is so sad. Like really take that in. Say that you're in their position. You work day to night selling peanuts or food or belts or whatever. You don't get that much money, and you use the little money to spend on bleaching creams when you could have used it for food or where you're gonna sleep that night, or shoes, or even a chocolate bar. Honestly, anything. But they really want to be like that. They are spending their money on bleaching creams, and yeah, it's really sad. So, Mexico, telenovelas. Like I said, for Bollywood movies, it's kind of the same thing with telenovelas. I was in Senegal with my grandma, and she loves telenovelas. I love them too. I don't watch them that much because I don't really watch cable, but whenever I do, I love telenovelas. They're so interesting, like, very interesting, and I love them. But, again, representation. You literally, like, I'm so sorry, but if you want to audition to be in a telenovela, you're even trying to be in it, you're gonna have to be you're like, it's, I was like, why do they look so white? Because I'm not used to seeing Latinas like that. Most of my friends are either Afro-Latina or they're Latina, but they're like, they have some melanin, like you actually see the melanin in them, and they're pretty like tan or dark, you know what I mean? But in the telenovelas, they were literally white, and I was like, are these white people talking in Spanish? I was like, but then obviously it clicked. I was like, oh, like, what? I was like, that is insane. Like, to even be in a telenovela, if you want to audition for like the lead role, if you're not light, I'm so sorry, you're not gonna get even casted. Like if you want to audition for a role and you're dark skin, you're probably like gonna get the role of like a bad person, a villain, or like a civilian, or like a janitor, or you know, stuff like that. But hopefully soon that changes and people start embracing their culture, because there's so many beautiful South Asian dark-skinned women, and you know, we don't see that many in the media. I could honestly only name a few. I hope that, you know, things are gonna change. I really do, because it needs to, because there's way too many young Asian dark-skinned girls and African girls that watch TV with their moms and, you know, watch really interesting shows, but they're not really getting represented in the shows that are from their country. Like, these are their people, you know what I mean? At least include everybody, because you're making it seem like there's only a certain type of Asian. Like, for certain people, like, that don't know Asia, or they don't know Africa, or, you know, they don't know India or Mexico, and then they watch their show and then like, oh my god, they all look like this, and then be surprised when there's dark-skinned South Asians, you know what I mean? Or there's dark-skinned Asians, East Asians to be specific. But yeah, that's something I think we need to work on. I have statistics that 40% of Chinese women bleach their skin, 77 is Nigerian women, and then 61% is Indian women that bleach their skin. So those are statistics for you if you don't believe me for some reason. But yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is the industry, the music industry, the acting industry, just Hollywood in general. There's a lot to unpack here, and I'm only going to talk about a little bit of stuff, but if you guys want to comment down below other things that you've noticed in the industry, feel free. But I'd like to talk about the acting industry and how the representation for dark-skinned people has changed briefly. I feel like back in the days, in the 90s and 2000s, there was a lot more dark-skinned women in film, and like dark-skinned couples, dark-skinned men and women together, and there was just a lot of those. And honestly, I watch these shows like now because they're just a lot better than the ones we have now, because there's not that much representation. And it's kind of weird how like we went kind of back in time. Like you would think that, oh, back in the days it was more representation for light-skinned people, but then now it'd be like, oh, now there's dark-skinned representation, but there isn't. Like, there's barely is. And if there is dark-skinned representation, it's always usually the nanny, the older overweight black woman that takes care of the white children or people, or she's like the comforting character, which there's I could talk about that for days, but we're not gonna get into that. And then there's always the stupid best friend, or like the side chick, or there's always that like, oh, the dark skinned girl that's always jealous of the light skinned girl, and just things like that. And I just feel like those are the roles we see now, and we barely even see like many dark skinned black families. Like the show Blackish, like there's only like one dark skinned character, and that's Martin, and she's a great actress. I love her, and I love all the people that play Blackish, but it's just like, why is there only like a few black people? Or the show, what is it, like, I don't know, there's a show on Netflix, it's about like a black family, but they're literally all light skinned. Like, there's no problem with that, but it's just like, why is there only light skinned people? Like, where are all the dark skinned people at? What's another one? Marlon is actually a really good one. There's dark skinned people, but it's always the light skinned wife with the dark skinned dad. Like, I don't know why they do that all the time. Like, it's always like even in Blackish, like the light skinned mom with the darkish dad. I think the character is like a little bit more light on the lighter scale, but he's way darker than the mom. But it's always like, oh, light skinned mom with the dark skinned dad. It's never dark skinned mom, dark skinned dad like we used to see. And I feel like they always replace, like, light skinned people always replace the dark skinned people. Like, take a look at My Wife and Kids. Oh my god, that's such a good example. The girl in My Wife and Kids, for the first season, I'm pretty sure she was a dark skinned woman. She, you know, was funny, she had a great character, she, you know, actually had aspirations in life, she had goals, she wanted to be successful, she had, you know, she was fun, she was outgoing, she was a great character. But then after the first season, they replaced her, and, you know, maybe they would replace her with a lookalike, so probably a dark-skinned girl, but maybe didn't like look the same. But no, they replaced her with her, a whole different type of person. Like, they don't even look the same. They're like why, you know what I mean? Or in Fresh Prince, I don't know if like this had to do with the color. I know they had like actress that played Aunt Viv, she had some stuff with Will Smith and stuff, but I still feel like that was kind of weird how they replaced Aunt Viv, which was a dark-skinned woman, and then they replaced her with a lighter-skinned woman, and I was just like, that's really weird. Like, why would you do that? Like, at least get a dark-skinned woman to replace Aunt Viv. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. Like, at least if you're gonna replace them, usually you want to replace them and people like don't really notice, or at least you don't want people to notice that they've changed. But these people don't care at all. Like, these are completely two different type of people, and it's just like, why? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, at least replace them with the at least dark skin. Like, like they don't have to look alike, obviously, but at least still be dark skin to go with the character. But no, they always change them and like have a lighter woman come and take the role. And anyways, Aunt Viv, the darker Aunt Viv was obviously the better Aunt Viv. Might be biased, but I don't really care. But I will say though, Issa Rae did a great job of portraying black women in her movies and dark-skinned women. There's also representation for lighter-skinned women, but they have that a lot in the media right now, so it's kind of important for darker-skinned women to get representation. And Issa Rae does a great job of that. Also in Black Panther, Shuri, she was smart, and she's the smartest like Avenger. Everybody knows she's the smartest Avenger, like everyone knows that. But yeah, I think they also did a great job with Shuri, and I love that, and hopefully we get a lot more of that because we need it. Next thing I want to talk about is how a lot of light-skinned women in the industry take dark-skinned roles for darker-skinned women. Like, a great example is the Nina Simone movie. If you don't know who Nina Simone is, she's a very talented musician, singer, and she's a beautiful dark-skinned woman with very black features. She has a white nose, and she's very proud of her features, and that's part of her. So when you're gonna make a biography, a movie about her, at least get someone that looks like her. But you guys will not believe who was casted to play the role of Nina Simone. Zoe Saldana, an Afro-Latina. She's beautiful, she's a great actress. I love her in the Guardians of the Galaxy. She's great, but I'm so sorry, but this is not a role she should have taken. Like, she could have been like, oh, well, I'm kind of on the lighter scale, like, I don't know, like, how would I play this role, like, I'm not dark skinned. obviously. So I just thought that was really weird how she didn't really say anything and then just kind of like went with the role. That's a little bit fishy how she didn't like give up the roles, because there's so many dark skinned women that could have taken the roles, like Jennifer Hudson or Normani, or even, I forgot her name, but she's a really great actress and she has her own Netflix show called Chewing Gum. And she's a great actress, and I think she looks just like Nina Simone, has the same features. You didn't have to paint, like, you didn't have to put dark makeup just to make her darker and do all that work when you could have just gotten a dark-skinned woman to play the role, and that actually kind of looked like Nina Simone. You know what I mean? If you're doing a documentary on someone, you'd kind of want them to look alike, like the same color. Like, I don't know if people just don't know how to do that anymore. But yeah, like, the only similarity that I can actually say is that they're both women and they both have black in them. That's literally it. That's all I can, like, there's really not many similarities. The nose, the lips, the face structure, it's all different. And I just know Nina was, she was upset. She was upset. Like, why would you do something like I feel like that's kind of disrespectful to Nina as well. Like, I know she was rolling in her grave. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Especially knowing how Nina is as a person. But Zendaya does a really great job of pushing the narrative of not accepting dark skin roles, which is the bare minimum, but it's very, like, it's very rare to see. So I'd also like to give a good shout out to Zendaya, because she's one of those light skinned girls that, you know, doesn't take dark skin roles. Love you, Zendaya. The self-hate syndrome in the black community regarding black men. Why do y'all hate yourself so much? Like, why was there a trend on TikTok and like on YouTube of like dark skin or light skin? Like
that, let me tell you. How you look like the TV screen, man? Why you scared? Fuck out. I'm not fucking no bitch like this. Fuck out of here.
Light skin or dark skin. Like, why was that even created in the first place? Because who cares? The whole preference, oh, I just prefer lighter women. Like, why though?
Light skins.
Why?
I just always have.
First of all, if you just go for someone because they're lighter skin, that is a problem. That is a problem, and that's self-hatred, and that's something you need to work on. You know, you need to work on with yourself, because that is a problem, and white people literally do not care about you, and they eat that up too. Like, when they see black men hating on dark-skinned women, they be laughing at us, and it's so embarrassing. They even like call it out. Like, they're like, why are they doing that? Like, why is it that only POC, like, because black people aren't the only people that like have problems with the men and women in their communities. Like, it happens in the South Asian community a lot, where the dark South Asian men go for white women and hate on South Asian women, which sucks, because they're literally beautiful. Like, they're gorgeous. But anywho, it's all in self-hatred and white supremacy. They want to appeal to white people. They want the validation, which I really don't know why, but it obviously has a lot to do with themselves. So that's something you have to look into. Just don't bring us into it. Like, we didn't ask for this. Plus, it's so harmful to see, especially for young black girls. There's so many on them on TikTok, and seeing this is like very damaging to mental health. It's exhausting. It's just not okay. It's just giving them like something they just don't need. Like, and it's not even true. Like, you're pushing out the narrative that dark skinned women are ugly, and it's not true. Personal experience, it's not true. So let's stop pushing the narrative that dark-skinned women are ugly and they're just not cherishable, unlovable, and start pushing that out in the narrative. Like, I would love to see a dark-skinned girl in a rom-com. You know what I mean? Like, let's see that. Why don't we see that? Like, why don't we see dark-skinned women being a spy, or a dark-skinned girl, I don't know, saving the world, being an astronaut. Like, give us a little bit of that, at least. You know what I mean? And like, because they only push out the narrative that in movies you have to be light-skinned to be lovable. You have to be really light to find a husband. You have to be really light to get married. And I'm just like, no, that's not true. And if you keep pushing the narrative, then it's gonna end up being true. Okay, hey guys, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new, turn on the post notifications. Yes, I am filming this outro now because I may have not forgotten. I filmed and edited this video twice. It was a rough time, but I'm happy that it's finally up and posted because I really like this video, and I was actually surprised that I haven't done a colorism video because I felt like I had, but I haven't. So, but yeah. Also, quick little message that you're beautiful no matter what, light or dark. We're all beautiful in our own ways, and if you subscribe or you watch my videos, we're all besties. I love every single one of you guys because you guys are cool and we're all besties. So yeah, and don't forget to comment down below new video suggestions because I want to post once a week or maybe twice. Maybe I'll surprise you guys, I don't know, maybe twice. But comment down below video suggestions so that I don't run out of ideas to make content for you guys. So hope everyone's having a great summer so far, and see you guys in the next time I post. Bye.